Hi everyone, so the Bluetooth Arduino project, I said that I would show you the code for the Arduino itself. So if you remember, the Arduino is set to communicate with the Bluetooth module. It's a serial device. The Bluetooth module, the RYB080L Lite, is a serial device. In other words, it doesn't use SPI, it doesn't use I2C, it's serial, which is the same communication protocol that it uses when it talks to computer, pretty much. Serial. So that's something to remember. So the TX and RX pins of the Arduino are connected to the TX and RX pins of the Bluetooth device. Now, as you probably remember with mine, my device is measuring voltage from somewhere and it's measuring temperature from somewhere. Now, incidentally, when it measures temperature, it's actually measuring voltage, but I won't go into that. But there are a lot of constants. I've got, for example, the thermistor pin, the voltage pin, the voltage divider resistances. So I've got a 12K and a 4.7K. This is to do with voltage divider. It's not really anything to do with Bluetooth as such. And I've got various things relating to the ADC, which is the analog to digital converter, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that. But this is where it starts to get a bit interesting, really. So I've got a flag here, a global flag. It's a Boolean, so it's either yes or no, true or false, on or off, 1 or 0, depending on what you're used to. And it says transmit. So currently it's set to false, in other words, we're not transmitting anything. I've got two strings here. One is string current transmission, and the other one is string previous transmission. And we have this const int max length 32. 32 characters per message, that's what we expect for Bluetooth maximum. I'll explain that later. So the first thing we do is set up. So when we set up, we want to set up serial. So we've got serial.begin, and then we've got the baud rate, which is 9,600 BPS, and then the loop. Now these are, if you're not familiar with Arduino, this is just a common thing. So in all, well, they call them sketches. In all sketches, we have a setup and we have a loop. So the loop is what constantly plays. So over here, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that or that either. That's specific to the thermistor. The voltage, I don't think I need to talk about that either. Current transmission, now I will talk about this. So if you remember, current transmission is a string up here. What's that blue thing there? What's that? Oh, modified. Okay, it's to do with GitHub. Okay, so where were we? Current transmission. So current transmission is a string that basically contains the text that I want to send to the phone. Put it that way. So that's the text that I want to send to the phone, okay? In my case, it's the voltage cast as a string, and it's the temperature cast as a string as well. And what I'm saying here is, if the current transmission, or if the string now is different to the previous string, what it was the previous time we transmitted data, in other words, we've got updates, or the string has changed, then we want to consider transmitting. If it's not changed, there's no point in transmitting it again. There's no update, so we won't transmit it. So let's say the transmit flag is on. So I mentioned over here, didn't I? There's a flag to say transmit yes or no. If the transmit flag is on, then we want to do serial print line, the text which is there, and then we want to set the this previous and current flag thing. So yeah. Serial.println, you might be thinking, well, why would it be serial print line? Because that would surely print to the debugger. And it would, kind of. But you have to remember that when it's not being debugged, I've got the TX pin of the Arduino to the RX pin of the Bluetooth device, which is the REAX device, and I've got the other one connected as well. So TX to RX, and I've got RX to TX. So in this case, serial is actually talking to the Bluetooth device. And then I've got, while available, In other words, while there's data to be read from the buffer, in other words, there's stuff to be read, serial stuff, then we want to do various checks here, read each byte by byte. If it's not the end of a line, so if it's not the end of the line and the message length is blah blah blah, again I'm not going to go into that, that saves the message being too long, then we basically get the data, we cast it into a string, and we call it incoming. It's the incoming variable. And then index of. So index of is where in this string can this substring be found, and give me the position of the character where it starts. It's a bit like the .NET contains. So that's what that is. In other words, if it contains it, then transmit is false, which is the flag from before. And we've got this as well, start updates. And we've got, but this here, plus 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 blah blah blah. This is something that comes from the Bluetooth module. It's sent from the Bluetooth module to the Arduino, and that basically means, oh, someone's connected to me. And this one here, plus minus minus minus, means somebody's disconnected from me. Comes from the Bluetooth, the Reax module. Now this here, start updates and stop updates, that's sent to the Bluetooth module, which is relayed from the Bluetooth module to the Arduino, and that's from the software that's on the phone, which I will explain to you in the next video. But basically, these set the flags transmit true or false, which I've shown you over here. Where was it? There. Okay, so remember that this loops. And it loops every 100 milliseconds. And that's pretty much everything. So that's the Arduino code for the device. And in the next video, I will probably show you the MAUI code. MAUI is the platform, cross-platform framework that I created the app in. Okay, so that's that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.